Hey everybody, I don't have a lot of time, so let's get right to it. My name is David Hale Sylvester, and after my friend Kevin Bowser was killed in the World Trade Centers on September 11, 2001, I bicycled my way across North America, Africa, Asia, and Australia. That's it. It really is my story. Now you may be thinking, it's great and all, but how the hell does that help me out for my future? Well, check it out. Let's look at my trips as if they were jobs. I'm not going to dwell on September 11th because many of you were too young to really recall that day, but trust me, it was crazy. And while I'm not going to compare our experiences, I am going to say that just like you're sitting there today, I sat at my friend's memorial service feeling anxious about my future, along with an overwhelming urge to do something to make some sort of mark on the world. Like you, I sat there thinking, now what? A scholarship friend and my friend's name was established, and the opportunity to bike across the United States to raise funds for it was before me. Was it the best idea? Dude, I don't know. But I do know that it was an opportunity at hand, and with all that urgency that was in my heart, I leapt at it. Just like you, I knew that employment reputations are built early on in life, so I did everything I could to perform well. I bicycled all the way from Washington State to Philadelphia, hugging, high-fiving, and smiling at everyone I could. It was an incredible experience, and I returned home feeling very proud of my job performance. But biking across the United States was only a seasonal job, and I now had to look for other opportunities. Within a year, I heard about another incredible job in Africa. Yes, it was another seasonal job. And yes, it would again require me to pay for a lot of things up front, like airfares, inoculations, a new bike, and such. But I was willing to do it because when was the opportunity, I mean the grand opportunity, to bicycle Egypt, Sudan, Ethiopia, Kenya, Tanzania, Malawi, Zambia, Namibia, Botswana, and South Africa ever going to be before me again? So again, I leapt at the opportunity. And again, I hugged and I high-fived and I smiled my way through it all to perform well at this quote-unquote job. It was an amazing experience. Excuse me, and it was everything that I dreamt it to be and more. But here I was on the road less traveled with two great seasonal jobs to my credit, and wondering, just like I did at the very beginning of my friend's memorial service, now what? I thought about getting a conventional job, but then I thought differently and I said, nah, I'm going to go bike South America. I put a lot of work into working out a plan to bike from Cali, Colombia to Ushuaia, Argentina, realizing that it was going to be an even bigger gamble than my other trips. But I went ahead and started planning those things anyway, because when you start taking risks and gambles early on in life and you win, you change. You most definitely change. You don't look at challenges the way others do. How could you? You don't feel the grit of a potential loss like others do. Why would you? All you do is look at an opportunity before you and just see and feel the warm glory within the possibility of another win, and then you move on it. Why wouldn't you? This is a feeling that can cut both ways in life. So for those natural born risk takers and gamblers out there, be careful and always try and remain present and keep this feeling in check. Anyway, focused only on the glory of it all, I anteed up and let everything ride on this trip. And it crashed. Actually, a drunk driver crashed into me and I nearly lost everything, including my life. In an instant, my body, my plans, and my spirit, and everything that had been so buoyant to me throughout my life was now shattered. But all of you need to listen to me right now. I mean, really listen to me right now, because this is a very important part of my story, and this is something that's definitely going to happen to you. Against all of your best efforts, you are going to lose something. You're going to lose a job, a relationship, a friendship, a something. Something is going to be snatched from you that is going to leave you feeling stalled and broken, and you're going to have to learn how to rebuild your spirit, rebuild your outlook, and essentially rebuild yourself. Now, rebuilding oneself isn't an easy process for anyone, and regardless of what anyone says, it isn't a solitary process either. It's a time when your true friends step up to not only say what you'll listen to, but they'll also say those difficult things that you need to hear. I listened to my friends, but I also heard what was necessary from the people from around the world who had read about me and attached themselves to my story. I'm so fortunate for these people who I never met, who now stepped up when I was down and essentially became my uplifting angels, who sent me prayers and good luck charms and notes that all essentially said the same thing. Do your best to keep moving forward. I believe in you. It wasn't easy to walk again after the accident. In fact, I still limp. It wasn't easy to get back on the bike again. In fact, I'm a lot slower. And it certainly wasn't easy to rebuild myself back into me again. But I did because so many people had touched and inspired me. They inspired me so much that I taped their pictures all over my bicycle. Now, truth be told, it was probably too soon for me to take another trip, but after being so down, I was just eager to show my thankfulness to everybody and show that I was okay. With that feeling in my heart, I gave my word to everybody that helped me move forward that I was going to bike from Istanbul to Beijing, through Turkey, Georgia, Azerbaijan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, and China. Now, this trip was much tougher, much tougher than my other trips. It was so tough that I ended up getting kicked off the bike tour. Yep, in the middle of China, I was booted from the trip. And that's right, if we're looking at my trips as if they were jobs, I was fired from my employment. And sadly, some of you are going to get fired from a job. And I'm here to tell you that it is a hell of a gut punch that leaves you feeling raw, that leaves you questioning your worth, and you feel a sense of shame imagining that you reek with some singular stench of failure. My head was hanging low as I was packing to go home. But I paused packing to think of the people that I gave my word to, the people who believed in me when I was down, those people who stepped up when I needed them most. And you know, I think sometimes that when you're down, you're thinking you're clearest because you're so desperate and you're so in need of a light, of a way out, of a way up. And with this clarity in mind, I looked at my bike with all of these pictures from people from around the world attached to it. And I thought, man, they believed in me. And then I realized that I may be the only one pedaling, but it was never just me on the bike. It was we. We were on the bike, and we were capable of anything. The bonding agent of my relationship with these people was their belief in me, coupled with my will and willingness to honor my pledges and always move forward. I concluded that I was looking at my job history totally wrong because I was treating everything like it was a for-profit when clearly I was operating a nonprofit. And when you operate a nonprofit, you don't abandon ship at the first sign of trouble. You can't, because there's a unique population that's counting on you, hinging their movements on what you do in life's tough moments. And to honor that bond, you do everything you can to live up to your word. I did what was necessary to bicycle into Beijing and honored my word. And maintaining that bond meant a lot to a writer at ESPN who arranged for me to write my own story. That story, my story in my words, was a hit. A couple of million internet hits, actually. And because of the response, I wanted to do something more. Now, some suggested I do a bigger trip, but with my new nonprofit mindset, I knew that some businesses fail in an attempt to grow too big too soon. So I thought of growth in another way. Instead of thinking bigger about things, I thought deeper. And I decided I was really going to think deeper about my connection with people. In my next trip, the first one with this nonprofit mindset, I pedaled and volunteered my way across the United States again. Each week between San Diego and Philadelphia, I sat down with people in different populations, people in hospices, domestic violence victims, cancer patients, and more. Each population saw something different in my story, and in fielding their questions, I realized just how far I had come physically, emotionally, and spiritually. I biked home with thoughts of a book on my travels, and I contacted that writer from ESPN, Jim Capel, and I asked him to write my book, and he declined, stating, "Dave, you have the talent. You write it." I didn't believe him initially, but let this be an important lesson to you. Your friends, your true friends want you to succeed, and because of that, they will see more in you than you see in yourself oftentimes. And when someone who clearly cares for you speaks up, listen. I mean, really listen to the details of that bigger version. Listen to the nuances of that better you. See it, feel it, and then put that work in and dare to be even greater. Jim was right. I did have the ability to write a book. And after writing, traveling at the speed of life, I celebrated being a published author by biking and volunteering my way across the United States again, or at least half of it, from Minneapolis to Philadelphia. The experience of writing a book opened my heart and mind to life's possibilities, to my bigger possibilities. And when I encountered people amidst the nation, I found myself speaking less and listening more. And everyone I encountered pretty much said the same thing. There's more within you. I really listened to these people, and I didn't back away from the challenge. In fact, I dared to be even greater. I worked hard to secure my first bike sponsorship and biked, volunteered, hugged, and high-fived my way across my fourth continent, Australia. And that, my friend, is my very job history called my life. I gave this speech to the graduates of Cal State Northridge back in 2015, and I have to admit that the experience of relaying my story on that stage and doing all I could to motivate, inspire, hug, and high-five every student, parent, professor, and staff member has been one of my life's great honors. I was so honored and motivated from it all that I began planning my next trips on my flight home. I've crammed a lot of living and good vibes into the 19 years since September 11th. And after everything I've achieved, I'm fully aware that I'm capable of doing so much more. Even more than that, I pledge to each of you that's listening to me right now, I will do more. Now, of course, this wasn't easy. Nothing of worth or value ever is. But my actions to move through and evolve beyond my circumstances was very, very necessary. Just like it's necessary for each of you to move forward and evolve beyond where you are and who you are today. And for that to occur, you, just like me, has to challenge yourself to dig deep within your own being to find abilities. You, just like me, then has to work hard to cultivate those abilities into talents. And then you, just like me, have to work even harder still to then curate your talents into an undeniable skill set. This is the charge that you must accept right now. This is the charge that I accepted a long time ago. But what if I'm stuck in life, you're wondering? Well, have I got something for you? If you find yourself stuck in life, then call me. That's right, call me. My number's 267-252-1974. Again, that's 267-252-1974. Call me and let's figure out how to clear life's next hurdle, how to go about your next quote unquote job, or how to do your next trip, or how to hug the next person. Let's talk about how you are going to dare yourself to be even greater, because I'm here to tell you, life is friggin' awesome. It's all you need is a hug.